re-acceleration of inflation going into the end of the year. They raised their inflation expectation.
Yeah, that was crazy. In fact, let's talk about the CPI, right? So this morning, the May CPI, April to May was flat, but year over year, we were up 3.3%. And that's extended what's been a stratospheric move since spring of 2020. In fact, we're going to put up on a chart. You see all these charts in CPI. There's only one chart that most Americans say, yeah, this reflects what I'm feeling. Even as economists and Wall Street share these monthly pauses, the fact of the matter is, take a look at this. This is where inflation is for the average household. It has gone straight up, and this is what they're feeling. The pain doesn't go away.
True.
So what do you make of it? Because we also have credit card delinquencies going through the roof. We have a lot of things. And you look at this data.
We're going to keep watching this. In fact, we ran the numbers right after the data came out. And if you're looking at what people want to buy, discretionary inflation, it is on the cusp of deflation, 0.1% year over year. If you're looking at what people have to buy, Charles, essentials spending, that CPI is running at 4.7% year over year. 4.7%.
Right.
So much higher than the headline.
So these are your delinquencies. The yellow line of rich folks, top 10 rich folks, the green line of top poorest folks. I worry if the economists always put everything in a bucket, an aggregate, how high the yellow line has to get up before they say, okay, you know what, maybe things are too rough. Because I'm concerned as that yellow line goes up, the green line for most Americans is going to go through the roof even further.
That's right. It's like the movie Jaws. We're going to need a taller scale.
Right.
And that's where we're headed. And there's going to be... Elizabeth Warren was, of course, the first to come out of the gate saying we need rate cuts. Right now, Jay Powell just said, please hold.
I'm going to bring up a letter, though, she wrote to Jay Powell, because you brought up Elizabeth Warren. She wrote a letter saying, listen, you guys have done enough. The economy is slowing. And by the way, there's parts of this inflation picture that you don't control.
Right.
I'm saying, yeah, you, Congress, see, the Fed can't control what you're doing.
I just said that. The essentials inflation that's running at 4.7% year over year, that is out of the Fed's control. What's under the Fed's control is that 0.1% year over year. The Fed's job is done. So in a million years, I would never agree with Elizabeth Warren. My mother's watching this. But here I am, because for what the Fed can control, they've controlled for.
The Fed and Powell really focused on what people believe is going to happen, right? We had yesterday, New York Fed, consumer, they see inflation a little higher. You saw something, though, in the numbers that I thought was fantastic, where folks think they're going to be next year vis-a-vis the unemployment. A lot of people, lower income, undereducated, they expect, they're bracing for a really ugly job market.
They are. If they make less than $50,000 a year, if they're the least educated, this is not a happy place for them right now. Their paychecks are not outpacing. They're not outpacing their inflation.
Here we go, folks. Look at this. This is just the last 4 months. A spike. Those with high school diplomas, they see unemployment going through the roof, and those making less than $50,000. The lower end of our income strata. And again, you ask, is the Fed going to wait for rich folks to scream uncle, or will they at least listen to these people?
That's a big no-no. Let's see if Chair Powell repeats what he's supposed to, because Federal Reserve policy is supposed to be made in the public, for the public good, not the haves and the have-nots. You don't make monetary policy for two separate cohorts of Americans. You make it for all of them.
All right, that's what they always tell me. I have blunt instruments, and maybe not the surgical. Hey, Danielle, stay with me. I want to bring you back later on. When Powell steps into that podium, we're going to need her to figure out what the hell he's saying. Okay, so we know this morning when the CPI came out, the market erupted higher. Of course, it began to drift here a little bit lower. You know, listen, it's a typical once when you get the FOMC statement, and of course the press conference coming up. Everyone gets a little anxious, but look at that bond.